For our statistics project, we decided to compare CCA sports to national high school statistics to find out if CCA is really a sporty school. The questions we asked ranged from gender to time spent on leisure and sports activities. We went around CCA interviewing students on their opinion. Let's see what they have to say.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we have some, like, CAF winning teams, I guess. I think they're...
No.
Well, as like, the school gets older, the sports are getting more notice and people are joining them more.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, among high schools in the United States, I actually think CCA is a relatively sporty school.
Compared to other high schools across the nation, I don't really think CCA is that sporty of a school. I think it's becoming one, but it's still not that sporty of a school.
Yes, I think it depends on the person.
Yeah, I think for certain people it's going to be more of like a arts, but then depending on like if you're more sporty person, you guys want like sports.
Yeah, I think it's becoming more popular.
Yeah, it's definitely developed.
Not as much as music. I don't know, I can't really think while I play.
I know a lot of people that like do tennis or like swimming, and some people that do track, so those three.
I believe that soccer and water polo are becoming more popular.
I think that soccer is becoming more popular at CCA. I think basketball is very popular at CCA. I also think track is a big sport. Tennis, those are really all ones I can think of. And also water polo. Compared to other schools, our water polo team is pretty big.
Field hockey and lacrosse,
I think volleyball is getting popular.
Probably field hockey after like the big CIF win, and I don't know, they're all probably getting more popular as the school gets bigger.
Lacrosse!
Yeah, definitely the field hockey and lacrosse.
Also, I think soccer is becoming very big. Like, very...
Oh yeah.
Just like, everyone wants to be on the soccer team.
Okay, I'm gonna go with girls here and break those gender roles, but I actually think it is girls.
I definitely think girls play a lot of sports at CCA, especially the field hockey and lacrosse team. Those teams are getting big. It's not to say that guys don't play a lot of sports at CCA. I just think, in proportion to other high schools, a lot of girls play sports at CCA.
I think that boys do.
I don't know, I feel like it's really even.
Boys, girls.
I would guess probably around equal.
I think it's pretty evenly split.
Girls.
Yeah, girls.
Probably like 1 or 2.
Oh, I think 4. I spend a lot of time playing basketball in the gym here, so about 4 hours a day.
1, 3.
Probably 2 hours.
Like 1.5 to 2 hours.
I spend like an hour a day, but sometimes if I don't have time, I don't really go outside.
3.
Like 2 to 3?
I think I do, like, 1 to 2.
At CCA, it turns out that more males than females play high school sports relative to other high schools. CCA boys who play a sport fit the national statistic of male students in a suburban area, but CCA girls who play a sport do not fit the national statistic of female students in a suburban area who play a sport. This means that sports are more popular among males than females at CCA. During this observational study, we determined that CCA students spend less time on leisure or sport activities than the national average. To be specific, CCA students spend less than half the time of the national average on sports or leisure activities. This could very well be because many students at CCA are, quote, hitting the books.
We determined that in proportion to other high schools across the nation, the most popular sport at CCA for boys and girls is track. The other three sports we got data on, basketball, baseball, and soccer, proved to be played way less at CCA than other high schools. Basketball varied the most from the expected proportion for males and females. Then came baseball, and then soccer. This may be odd considering CCA has one of the nicest high school gyms in the nation.
Our survey results did not at all agree with the responses of CCA students. There are many reasons that this may have occurred. Our survey responses were only from 11th and 12th graders, which is an undercoverage bias because we were comparing to a national statistic of 9th through 12th graders. This could have affected our results, making the CCA data different from the national statistic. Another reason CCA may have had lower proportions of students who play a sport is because CCA is an academically rigorous school. Some students may not have time after school for a sport or leisure activity compared to high school students nationally. However, the national statistic of males who play a sport was within the CCA confidence interval.